Are we live and are we direct?
We on a hot streak right now. What's going on?
Hey, what's happening?
What's happening, cuz? I saw this clip on Instagram about the Fast and Furious guy, Tyrese and Ryan. What's the guy who died?
Paul.
Paul. I feel bad that I don't know his name. Tyrese was like, "You ain't gonna tell me, man? You ain't gonna tell me, homie?" Patrick was like, "Forget about it, cuz." Just seeing him do that was hilarious to me.
Just getting in his actor bag.
Yeah, like, okay, that's funny, but you still get props for that because you a cool dude. We fuck with that. Welcome back to another episode of
The New Cool Syndicate podcast.
Let's start the show with some shout outs. Special shout out to Late Night with Linda.
Late Night with Linda.
This is one of our top supporters, and she actually inspired one of the segments today. So, Late Night with Linda Rosa. Follow her on Instagram. That's Late Night with Linda Rosa. It's an underscore between each word. If you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, I'll put it here.
Shout out to you.
Hey, any shout outs?
Oh, shout out to God. Shout out to you if you can go 2 or more days without showering.
Oh,
It's a hidden talent.
yeah.
And I'm not saying I have it per se.
I've gone a couple times. 2 or 3 days ain't bad.
Yeah,
actually, I have another shout out. Shout out to us. Shout out to us.
Hey man, shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Your dedication is like a fucking freight train. It's like,
Likewise.
how is it gonna be stopped? It can't be.
No, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. You can't stop us.
For sure.
So shout out to us. We've been working hard over the past few months. Shout out to the people who's been listening from the beginning. If you are a new listener, I do have 3 favorite episodes for you to go back to and check it out. All right, so go ahead and finish this one. If you like this one, check these 3 out. Cocky Cox Part 2. Dunkin' Ho Nuts and KF Cheeks. That one was really fun. I always shout that one out. And then check out the Twin Cast. What is your passion? So those are my favorite 3. If you're a new listener or old listener who hasn't listened to all of them, go ahead and check out those 3.
All right, man. Some of the ones that I fuck with, Dunkin' Ho Nuts and KF Cheeks.
That's a classic one. Yep.
We have Drunken Skunks.
Drunken Skunks did pretty good.
Yes, sir. We have the influence of music, just because, we was like throwing back to our, childhood artists.
Yeah, I like those episodes too. Those were cool vibes.
And then for my bonus, we got the Twin Cast, Makeup and Lies. How men rely on their game, quote unquote.
Yep.
Women rely on their looks.
Facts, actual facts.
Nice breakdown.
So, those are our favorites. Go check those out. Yeah. For our new Cool Testament segment, this one has been on my mind for a few weeks. So we've been coming up with topics like
What's on your mind?
This one's been sticking with me. So there's a philosophical concept that humans need a desire for power. So there's like food, shelter, water, we get it. But besides the necessary things, there's like physiological needs or things like that. Once again, as we always say, do your own research. But the gist of the theory is humans need power in some way.
Well, I have a question.
Yep.
What would make you feel like you had just enough power, but not too much power? Or is there too much power?
Right. Well, like the great philosopher Kanye West said, no one man should have all that power. I'm sure somebody else said it before him, but Kanye is who we associate with.
That's crazy. I almost played that fucking song, bro.
Kanye's cool, man. Cool guy. Very misunderstood though. Damn, what was your question? I forgot it.
Oh, it's cool.
Damn, I'm tripping.
I'll remind you right now.
All right, it's all good. All right, so the human desire for power. Oh, you were asking like, is enough ever enough?
Yeah, like, is there ever too much power?
Right.
Like, once you get a certain status, do you stop, or you know what I mean?
No, I don't think you ever really. It's never enough. I think you kind of have to tame that desire and be reasonable. But I still think you should always be striving for the next level. It's like a right way to do it.
I feel like being in the industry, reaching the heights of manager, it's like, man, I'm doing all this for y'all.
Yes.
And it's like not really paying back because I'm expendable at any moment, for one. And for two, I now understand how it is to manage. So I'm going to put this energy into my own company, into my own, you know what I mean?
Smart. Use those skills and invest it into yourself. So I was in a certain situation. Like a lot of my jobs, more than half my jobs, I've worked in management. Each time I bust my ass, like I work hard. I don't know how not to work hard.
Right.
So time and time again, I would leave a job, whether I'm getting fired or quitting. And it's like, what am I getting out of this? So recently, after I left my last management job, I took on some jobs that were easy, that would just pay the bill.
Okay.
And I was comfortable with that. I was cool. I was chilling.
As far as like not feeling the stress of, hey, man, we need a manager.
Right.
That's just annoying.
Yeah, right. Just having to be responsible just for stuff that really doesn't matter to you personally. But
right.
Lately, I've been in a vibe. I've got great balance in my life. Personal life, work life. Like I'm never too stressed in any area. And it's cool. I like it. But there's a deeper need within me that's not being fulfilled.
Do you feel that's coming with like the dawning of a new age for you? Or do you feel like it's just like a cultural stress or like a social stress? You know what I mean? Like,
I think a lot of it is social. I think you're valued in society by your status. Like people respect you based on your level.
Like your social value or like
pretty
more like...
much. Yeah. Like, so in my position at my job, I work in a lower position and it's cool. I don't have much responsibility. I come in and do my thing, but I'm missing that feeling of importance that I'm used to. When I usually work management, I'm the go-to guy. Everybody comes to me. I'm the guy. I'm not used to not being the guy. So I'm trying to adapt to that right now. And I think that's my desire for power. Like, you know what I mean?
So you're trying to balance your humbleness due to your position and your hunger for power.
Yes. Yes. And I'm always in a battle. That's like the Pisces nature. We're always going against ourselves. But part of me is cool because I don't have too much power. But the other part of me wants more power because I want more status. I want more respect. Like that itch right there is getting stronger. And plus I feel like I'm working way below my standards right now. But it's paying the bills. So I'm trying to be grateful at the same time. But it's a struggle. So to wrap that up, like I relate to that desire for power. Things are cool, but I want more.
Certainly.
Yep. And moving on to the next segment.
Hey.
We have slap culture. It's your boy right here.
The JBP.
So for the listeners who don't know, Joe Budden just had a discussion with Spotify. Do you want to break down that? Because I think you might know it a little better than me.
Well, pretty much Joe Budden is in a renegotiation phase where he feels like he's being undervalued just due to the fact that when he did bring over users from YouTube, fucking the site crashed. Spotify crashed, that there was so much volume they weren't able to handle it. They had to reconstruct their shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man, that's a fact. On top of that, there's just like they want to buy the rights to his work.
Okay.
That's not really cool because you guys didn't produce the work. You're just putting it on your platform. You can't have it.
Okay. So that's Joe Budden's. That belongs to him. So from my little bit of experience, from what I heard from it, was like Joe at one point asked for $250 million for the new deal. To me, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now, granted, I don't know all the numbers and the specifics, like as far as the site crashing and the volume of followers he has. What I do know is Joe Rogan, who I believe has the #1 podcast in the world, had a deal for $100 million. So in my mind, I hear Joe, who's not #1, ask for 2.5 times as much as the #1 guy. In my mind, I'm thinking, who do you think you are?
Well, he's also fighting for creators because he's saying that by him taking that 100 million, he's putting a cap on, what the numbers say and what they could really make.
Okay.
So
Interesting. And I will admit, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I'm only speaking of like a gut feeling. If I know Joe Rogan got 100 million and I know he's the number one, my gut instinct is like, who do you think you are if you're not number one and you're asking more than him? That's just my idea. But what you said about him, empowering the creatives and knowing your worth, that's important. So
yeah, man, like Michael Jackson was battling Sony for his masters. Like Prince was doing the same shit. It's like people shouldn't have to I just read this fucking shit about Jay-Z. He sold off Kanye's masters to get his masters back.
To get Jay-Z's own masters back?
Yes.
What the heck?
So yeah, bro, that's like some shit. But
that's a weird business. Like that, it's such a sneaky, deceptive business to be in. Or is it just like any level? When you get to that level, it's just a weird place to be in.
I mean, shit, in any industry, there's going to be competition. And
Sure.
It's just like, all right, how can I outnumber this person? How can I outmaneuver?
How can I do better? How can I improve and move up? So that was my idea on the slop culture segment. I initially thought it was kind of crazy, like to demand that amount of money. But you brought up a good point, too. Another thing you said earlier was that Joe Budden has 3 people on his podcast. So I don't know if that 250 million would be more divided evenly amongst his team, because Joe only has him and Jamie.
Him, Maul, Rory. They got Savon. They got fucking Parks.
You know what I mean? They got
audio
a team.
engineer.
They got a team.
All
so
shit.
I wonder if his 250 million was taking that into account too. But yeah, that was just my idea on that. I guess the takeaway: know your worth. Understand what business you're doing, like when you're making deals, and things should work out okay for you. All right.
There it is.
There it is. That was the slap culture segment. So I got a bar for you. I got a bar for you all this week.
Take him to the bar, man.
Yeah, let's do it. So here's my bar for you for our bar hopping segment. Big Sean's album is going to be forgotten very soon.
Why do you say that?
So with me personally, I've listened to it I've tried to listen to it twice. I really like the album. I'm a Big Sean fan. Like since 2010, I've been a fan.
Okay.
This album I've listened to the first half about twice. The one with Post Malone is my favorite song.
Wolves.
So far. Yeah, that
I
one's
was raised by the wolves.
So it's a really good album. But I think it's going to be forgotten because we're still waiting for music from other people. Like, I feel like there's somebody's going to drop and we're just going to forget about Big Sean.
Is that somebody the number one artist in the rap game right now?
Who else could it be?
Drizzy Drake.
Hey, El Drake.
El Drake.
Remember how I wrote that R? Yeah, Champagne
I
Papi.
see you.
So, yeah, we still haven't heard from him. So what about when Certified Lover Boy comes out? We're just over Big Sean. What if Kendrick decides to come out? We don't know because he stays quiet. But what if he comes out? We're just going to forget about Big Sean.
I mean, the only way Big Sean is about to live, I'm not going to say the only way as if it's a definite thing, but
okay.
If the gyms open back up soon, throw him on a playlist, you know what I mean? Get that type music.
That Wolves on?
Mm-hmm.
I could feel that on a playlist.
It could live on in the playlist.
I could feel that. So here's my other idea on that. Big Sean actually has had a history of kind of like falling off the radar. Like when he drops, it pops, it's hot. But it's just something about it that doesn't last.
Like it doesn't stick?
Yeah, I feel like that. Like Detroit. Go ahead.
Is it the lack of music videos or is it, I don't know.
It's weird because in my opinion, Big Sean is a top tier rapper. I think he's like either at the bottom of the top or the top of the second place. Does that make sense? Like the top tier rappers, he's either at the bottom of that or he's at the top of the second tier rappers.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, I think his music is always like just forgotten. And maybe that's just the culture of people not having a long attention span.
And would you say he's in the second or the top of the second just because of his like his star power or his rapping ability?
I think he's at the top as far as his rapping ability.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like replay value and like impact, I don't feel like he's up there. And Big Sean is a huge influencer in the game, like his flows. But for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. He's like he can't get over that hump. And it's probably not made for him. Like, he's in his lane. So it's not to say that he's doing anything wrong.
Do you think he's gonna? Well, I guess he did make a pop attempt with putting like Post Malone and other artists on the album.
Yeah, and you got to do that. That's the business. You got to reach out whoever's hot and popping, get them on the album to take their fans. You know, that makes sense.
Certainly.
But that was just my bar. Like, as great as the album is, and as great as Big Sean is, I feel like pretty soon that album's going to be forgotten. It's just too many people about to drop or expected to drop.
Boy.
And then for the last topic we have for today, for our Lovers and Friends segment, this is the topic that Late Night with Linda Rosa actually inspired. So she had a post that triggered a train of thoughts in my mind, and the topic was seduction. So what is seduction?
Let's give a definition to that.
Yep. What is seduction and how does it work? Let's pull up this definition. Let me see. Pulling it up. How?
Hey.
Seduction. I'm pulling it up. Definitions. Here we go. All right. Seduction is the action of seducing. Okay. Come on now. Do better than that.
That's a rip.
All right. Seduction. Attempting or attractive things. Come on, guys. There's got to be a better thing than that. All right. Seduce someone is to lead them astray or lure them in. I don't like astray. But since we couldn't find a clear definition, here's what I'll define it as. Seduction is basically like the ability to influence and escalate an interaction into a sexual interaction. You know what I mean? That ability to like escalate, like,
to like pass sexually. Off that energy.
Game. That's what that is.
I feel like seduction is, well, when performed properly, it's not exerting any force. It just happens naturally. You guys just have this like this chemistry that's undeniable. You know what I mean?
Okay, I do get you. When I think of seduction, I think it's more like a power. So kind of what you described was chemistry. When I think of seduction, I'm not thinking necessarily chemistry. I'm thinking of like manipulating that chemistry. Does that make sense? To make you want me.
But I feel like, so the person that you have the chemistry with, like, all right, you're clicking with them, but if you have to manipulate someone to like talk to you and be with you, then do you think that they'll really have that staying and lasting power? You know what I mean?
I think I do. And I see what you're saying about like how it could possibly be like a bad thing, like an evil power. Mm-hmm. Because what you're describing is actually the right way to do it. Like, it's a mutual attraction type of thing. But I think seduction is kind of just, it's more intentional. Like, it's not so much of a natural thing. It's game. So one of the biggest values of a lot of men, for biological reasons, we're hunters. Like, we want to mate with multiple women. So it's...
I never said that.
Come on, man. Don't do me like that. All right, but like a seducer is like viewed in a lot of people's eyes, I guess, guys, dogs, whatever you want to label it, is somebody is like with a great power. It is a power.
It's like a persuasive force.
For sure. That's a superpower to me.
Something like Hitler would have, like to be able to persuade a mass audience just with his speech.
Mm-hmm. Charisma, influence. So I hope we did an okay job of talking about that. If we didn't, hit us up, let us know how we could do it better, or ask us more specific questions, right? So
if you don't stop smacking on the mic, boy.
Bro, this candy's good. My bad. I hope
take this shit.
That. So what we're going to do for y'all is introduce a new segment for you all. So what we want you to do, hit us up in the DMs, Instagram stories, whatever, wherever you can find us. Hit us up with questions you want us to answer. So if it's something you're going through, a question that's been on the back of your mind, something you've been struggling with, even something you want us to do better, whatever, hit us up and we're going to put it on the show if it's chosen. And that's going to go into our Send It to the Syndicate segment. Brought to you by Micah. That was pretty cool. Send It to the Syndicate segment.
Hey, man, you threw me the alley-oop, man.
Yeah. No, that was all you. That was the solo, dolo, windmill, one-handed. That was all you.
At least the assist, man. Don't So give me all the credit. All right, next.
So yeah, send your questions to us, and we'll put you on the Send It to the Syndicate segment. Yeah.
See, I wanted it to be a tongue twister.
Let's do a wrap up, man.
Wrap it up, then.
The first thing we talked about was the New Cool Testament. It's the human desire for power. As humble as I like to think that I am, like I actually feel that. Like I want to move up in the world. I want that power. And a lot of people have the desire to be important, to be powerful.
And it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's about how you go about it. Mm-hmm. Use it as a good motivator to pursue a higher status in life.
Certainly.
After that, we talked about slop culture. So Joe Budden had a deal or a talk with Spotify about a deal. Do your own research. It didn't go well. He asked for a lot. But the takeaway is he knew his worth and he wanted to stand his ground on that. Mm-hmm. All right. So there's a takeaway from that.
Know your worth, fellas, ladies.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Bar hopping. My bar for the day was that Big Sean, his album is going to be forgotten pretty soon. I like the album a lot. But I think we're waiting for other people to drop music that's going to make us forget about them. And it's also the culture, too. Big Sean has had a history of kind of like just not being appreciated. I think it's going to happen again. All right. Lovers and friends. What is seduction? So seduction was, in my words, pretty much the power to influence people and escalate sexually.
And mine is just not forcing it, man. Just a natural honey-like seduction.
Smooth. That's that part. And that was everything. Oh, also send it to the Syndicate. Any questions you have, anything you want us to talk about, discuss, hit us up and we'll put it in the Send It to the
Syndicate segment. Hey.
Right. Socials, you can find me at WTF_Ira on Instagram.
And me at It's Me the Micah Instagram.
Yep. The New Cool Syndicate is on Instagram at the New Cool Syndicate, all one word. And we're on YouTube, too, at The New Cool Syndicate. All right? On that note, we out of here. This has been another episode of the New Cool Syndicate podcast.
Hey.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, sir.